When this Sunday began, Ben, a lot of us woke up, checked our Facebook feed, checked our favorite news source, and found horror in Orlando. 50 people murdered at the hands of Omar Mateen. By the end of the day, several hundred people rallied here in Oklahoma City in response to that. I'm Dave Morris outside Freedom, Oklahoma, joined by the Oklahomans' Ben Felder. Ben, we heard from a lot of the religious leaders, a lot of political representatives here in the state. They gave a message of hope, of support, of love over hate. You also spoke with some of the residents here of Oklahoma City, and what did you hear?
Yeah, well, a lot of them said, all of them said that they initially wanted to come out here and show solidarity, support for the community in Orlando, excuse me. It's something that's taking place all over the country. A lot of cities are seeing these types of vigils and marches. But, you know, in talking with those that were out here, you know, some said that this was also a chance for them to kind of grapple themselves with what had happened. We talked with one person who said, you know, she spent most of the day crying.
How could I not? I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I kind of sat in my living room and cried for a little bit, thinking about all the stuff that I had been through growing up, being gay, and how difficult it is for us, and for people to not understand how difficult that could possibly be. And not only that, but then kill because of their ignorance. I don't understand it. And I'm married, and I have a wife with twins on the way, and this is my duty. I mean, this is what I have to do for my people.
And really just trying to process what had happened, and she felt like coming out here tonight was a chance to be around people that she knew, and even people that she didn't, to feel loved and feel supported. We talked with some parents who had talked about, you know, the difficulty in explaining what had happened with their own children.
I hope that they see our community is based in love, and that we're not a community to fear. We're not here to stand out, make a statement. We're just here to belong.
Not what this is about. It shouldn't be about differences and what makes one person better than another. We're all one country, one community, one world. It's scary. It's scary for our children to have to come to terms with something like this. It's really, really scary.
But bringing them out here to see the size of the community, for a lot of people that live in the LGBT community, sometimes it can feel very isolating, even with some of the advancements that have taken place as of late. But coming together, as you said, several hundred people here, a large sign of support here.
It was interesting to hear some of the interviews that you conducted, some of the conversations you had. Some of them didn't really know why they were here, but they were drawn to be here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like I said, I mean, some people were feeling like, you know, this just seemed like the right thing to do.
They actually were saying, we're all LGBT today. And so I went, okay, maybe this is just the beginning of of division coming down and new unity, because it has to start somewhere. So maybe, unfortunately, with what happened today, maybe this is doing it.
This message to Orlando, but also to the local community here. You know, we're 2 weeks away from Pride Week here in Oklahoma City. Well, there'll be a large parade and other festivities celebrating the LGBTQ community. And a lot of people said that it was important to come out here, and just like they will in a couple weeks, just to show that unity and that support.
Saw the news this morning, and we were really scared, but then we decided that we weren't going to be, that we wanted to support as much as we could. So this is just the least we can do.
State stuff. What's today been like?
It's been a wake-up call.
Yeah, it's a bit frightening. I broke down a little while ago because I just started to process everything. We were at a club over the weekend, so of course we have this, you know, it could have been us, but our hearts go out to all the families and everything, and it's really hard to think about that, the devastating effects.
It could have very easily been here as opposed to anywhere else.
You know, we gathered here, the crowd gathered, and it was probably, you know, 20 or 30 minutes before things got started, and I was kind of looking around, and, you know, you just saw friends hugging each other, talking to each other. You know, I think if anything, it was kind of a chance for many in the community, whether they are gay or not, to just kind of come out and see some smiling faces and get some support from one another.
A chance to be human, right?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, as he mentioned, there was a vigil here, there were speeches, and then a march where they lit candles and marched up Northwest 39th Street, which will, of course, be the host and vicinity of some of the Pride festivities, which will be in 2 weeks, and they did announce that those will continue.
Yes, they did. And, you know, the significance 39th Street has kind of been looked at as kind of a hub of gay culture here in Oklahoma City. Also, a lot of bars and clubs in that area, you know, and speaking with some people, you know, we know that the shooting took place at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, a gay nightclub there. And there's some significance in that to the community because, you know, I talked to some people who said, you know, for so long, you know, bars and nightclubs were really the only place they could go and be gay. And so to see something like that happen in a place that you kind of consider to be one of the few safe places you have, it's close to home, even for those that don't live in Orlando. And so marching down 39th Street to, you know, locally here where a lot of those venues and establishments are and mean a lot to people in the community here.
I believe the word they used was sanctuary.
Exactly.
All right, more coverage from Ben Felder can be found in the Oklahoman and online at newsok.com.